Hello and welcome to Devil's Advocate. Is Kashmir over the worst, or could the situation erupt again? That's one of the key thoughts I shall discuss today with the former Chief Minister, the President of the ruling National Conference and a senior cabinet minister in Delhi, Farooq Abdullah. Dr. Abdullah, is the worst of the crisis in Kashmir over, or do you think this present tense calm could prove to be deceptive?
Well, let's say that the process has started towards normalization. I wouldn't say we are over the hump as yet, but we are gradually getting to a position whereby we'll see peace. But let us not be sure that peace is going to be for long, because we need to fundamentally understand why these things erupt.
I want very much to come to that understanding, but first let me ask you a couple of questions. Are you beginning to be confident that the anger and defiance that you saw on the streets of Kashmir is abating, even if it hasn't completely disappeared?
I would say it has mellowed down. It has simmered down. We hope that the future steps that we will take as rapidly as possible will bring in the confidence in the younger generation that there is something being thought about their future.
How critical then was it for the government to have taken tough steps such as calling the army out and denying journalists for 4 days curfew passes so that newspapers didn't come out? How critical were those tough steps?
I think if you look at it, number of steps if we had taken since we got the power 18 months ago, probably this stage wouldn't have emerged. And there are a lot of reasons. Let's be very clear. It's not only because of things in our state. It's not the failure of the government, as people try to project, that is the failure of Umar and is the Congress and National Conference. It's not so. We are in a problematic position with our neighbor. That continues to play at times. Now, since the Minister for Home Affairs had to go, something had to give here, so some of them instigated some things. It was easy because the floor was ready for it. Then today our Minister of External Affairs is there, so there has to be something so they can also speak and look at this position. So all these things, it's a very complicated affair as far as my state is concerned.
But you're also saying to me, aren't you, that even though you've had 2 or 3 tense days of calm, the possibility of the situation erupting still remains. You can't rule it out.
No, I don't rule anything out. But if proper steps are taken, there are every chance there is that it will not blow in a manner it did.
Let's then come to those proper steps that need to be taken, and let me begin by saying that this is the 3rd summer in succession that protests have erupted in cities like Srinagar, Baramulla, Sopore, and Anantnag. Why is this happening? What is the cause of this anger?
See, there are a number of factors. If just elections took place in 2002, in 96, in 2008, and we have an euphoria, oh, that look, elections have taken place and therefore everything is hunky-dory, it's not so. The problem is still there. We have to continuously talk not only to the country which is involved in it on the other side, but also to the people in our own state who may not agree with the present dispensations or other things, be they Hurriyat, be they others. We have to somehow roll them in betterment of the people of the state.
So you're saying to me that the euphoria of successful elections misled people into thinking there was no problem?
I don't think they misled. I think we went into a sort of a trance that, oh, now things are all right, probably a developmental phase will bring it out. Otherwise, as far as Government of India is concerned, the amount of help they have given to the state for development, I have never seen this before.
But yet there was this trance.
Yes, because, now why? First and foremost thing, we have nearly in Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh, all 3 regions, over 6 lakhs educated, unemployed youth who don't see any future ahead. We don't have industries. So where is the jobs?
So this is the anger and frustration.
Frustration. They feel that everything is blocked for them. And unless we have an opening for them, that look, there is a future for you. They came out to vote with the hope that there will be future for them.
And there was none.
And there was none.
So they felt cheated.
They felt cheated, exactly.
In fact, they felt misled.
Not only misled, they felt everything. They felt that, look, all this politicians have promised, where is it?
They feel let down by politicians.
Exactly. The point here is they do feel let down, and the point here is we must undo this feeling.
Can I ask you a blunt question? Have politicians, all politicians of all parties and all stripes, wittingly or unwittingly, let down the people of Kashmir?
I think they feel it may not be done with a purpose, but when they did not achieve the things for which they stood and voted, that there will be, that children will get jobs, that there will be a better understanding with all, there will be general peace within Jammu, within Ladakh, within Kashmir, that there will be some sort of a better things for them. They felt definitely that it's not only making roads, it's not only giving agricultural lands water and all the other facilities that were created for them. There's never been like this before.
But they want a recognition of their identity, they want a recognition of their worth, and they're not getting that.
And they want, biggest thing is they want to be party to development of the state as part of the working force.
So this is a generation that feels rejected. This is a generation that feels unwanted and alienated.
I think they feel, part of them feel that they're alienated. Part of them are being used. Let's be very clear about it. There are certain people who are financing them.
Are you talking about the separatists?
I know. I don't know
Gilani?
who. I don't know who. I will not like to point fingers.
Is the
because
LET
this knowledge will only be known to the people who are in the government.
Is the LET also stirring the cauldron?
I do not know. There are all sorts of forces that are working at this time. So to say which force is involved and who is involved, but there is bound to be, we have heard about it, that there are people who are now being paid money to throw stones at
But
times.
the truth of the matter is the cauldron was anyway boiling. Whether individuals come and stir it is another matter. It's that boiling cauldron that you have to turn the temperature down on.
Today, and the foremost thing is, the administration to be tightened. You can't have administration who have got free accommodation, who have got free security, who have got free everything. They will not come to the secretariat. How do you work?
Why is the administration loose?
Well, that is what the government must see, and they must immediately get grips to with this.
But this is your government, your party's government, your son is the chief minister.
You see, one good thing I must say, I do not accept this fact that I should be another power center. I'm not a power center. There's only one power. The power is the chief minister. He decides. We can tell him. It is for the chief minister to take action, to look into this. And I'm sure this thing that has happened must have shown to the chief minister and to the other people who are there on the scene where their friends lie and where their foes lie, and their own weaknesses, they must know where they are.
Has the chief minister's inexperience been a problem?
No, I don't think so. How can you say when he was here in Delhi as external affairs minister, when he was here as commerce minister, he didn't know anything about
The
it.
army chief-
Yet he delivered so well.
The army chief has gone on record to say that at critical moments the state government lost confidence. Secondly, it hasn't built on the gains of the 2008 elections. Is the army chief wrong?
I think army chief should never make statements. Army chief is there to keep silent, and his job is to see that the army is alert and ready. He has not to make political statements, and I'm totally against any army chief or police chief making political statements. Political statements must come from politicians who can answer in the assembly and who can answer in the parliament.
A moment ago you said that the administration isn't pulling its weight, they don't necessarily come to the secretariat. Are they defying the chief minister? Are they not cooperating? Is that the problem?
See, I do not know. That is for chief minister to know.
But you
But I
sense that.
can't
But
have,
you sense that, don't
if
you?
I was the man, I will not tolerate that when you have every perk under the earth to come, and then you don't get to the thing. Well, this is something that, you see, as far as I was concerned, my chief secretary is the chief minister of the bureaucracy. My police chief was the chief minister of the security force. I would not interfere.
Does Omar Abdullah need to follow that pattern and that style?
I think he should. He should follow the path that is there very clearly. He must give responsibility, and those who do not fulfill responsibilities, door must be shown immediately.
Is he too tolerant?
I don't know. That you have to ask him.
Is he too forgiving of people who don't perform?
That you have to ask him.
Does he need to be?
I cannot say what he is.
But you're saying he needs to be tougher.
Well, I think he, with this experience that he has gone through, I'm sure he must have realized as to what is to be done for future. But do not blame him only. There are so many forces outside and inside that were working. But one of the biggest factors which has gone in his favor is that the government of Delhi has stood firmly behind him. I have never seen government of India stand so firmly when I was the chief minister.
The government of India no doubt has stood firmly behind him, but has the Congress party, his ally in Srinagar, stood behind him so firmly? After all, Saifuddin Soz publicly dissented over the decision to call out the army, and Deputy Chief Minister Tara Chand seems to have boycotted the all-party meeting. So is Congress in Srinagar behaving differently to Congress in Delhi?
Being National Conference President, I cannot comment on the Congress. What I know is that both parties have to stand firm if they want to deliver to the people the promises that have been made. There cannot be two opinions, one from one side and one from the other side. That's not on. The Congress President here is very clear. The present Congress President should be very clear. I don't think I, as National Conference President, see any other way. I think both of us have to cooperate, have to stand behind this government to see that they deliver to the people the promises made.
Omar Abdullah has been through a nerve-wracking experience for almost 3 weeks, maybe 4.
Well, I'm glad he went through, because this is what makes a man. If you don't have challenges, then you never will know what is there to become, whether you're solid enough.
Has this dented his confidence?
I think it's not dented his confidence. What has made him, it has made him stronger to understand what reality is and what is being projected.
So he's a better man for this experience?
I'm sure today Omar Abdullah is much better in understanding the people that work with him, and he knows what their acumen is all about.
So you're absolutely confident that he can pull it together, even if you go through more eruptions hereafter?
I am sure this eruption has made him a solid person, and I'm sure he's going to stand to anything.
Are you speaking as a doting father, or are you speaking
No, I'm speaking as president of the party.
Let's take a break at that point. I want to come back and talk to you about the government of India. Does the government of India, south of the Banihal line, need to now also sit up and realize that there is a serious problem, and they have to take steps to win back a generation of Kashmiris who are alienated? That's in a moment's time. See you after this. Welcome back to Devil's Advocate with Farooq Abdullah. Dr. Abdullah, let's turn to the government of India. You've explained to me that there is a serious problem of alienation, of anger, of frustration. A whole generation feels they've been forgotten, they have no job. Does Delhi understand the gravity of the situation?
I think they do understand the gravity of the situation.
But are they responding to it?
I'm sure they're going to respond.
Going to?
You see, the point here is, now they know that you have to meet this anger. You have to do things which will be necessary so that this eruption never repeats itself. And those points have been already discussed by the recent meeting that all party meeting have. They'll soon be coming to Delhi to talk to the Prime Minister, and I'm sure that those inputs to the Prime Minister will be very, very, very good, and action will be taken on them.
I'll tell you why I asked, because the government has taken considerable steps to open a process of dialogue with Pakistan, but commensurate steps to open a process of dialogue internally in Kashmir haven't been taken. And Kashmiris often say that New Delhi treats us like stepchildren.
Let's be clear on one thing. Government of India's doors are open to everyone. The problem is when they opened the door and they started talking, you saw how one Hurriyat leader nearly died. That put fright into the people, that they can be eliminated by whoever agency it might be. And therefore, whatever steps are going to be taken have to be taken with great care, great understanding, and doors have to be opened, doors have to be continuously worked on. The path has to be found with every political party, whether it opposes or does not oppose.
But does Delhi understand the urgency of the situation?
Yes, it does. It does understand the urgency of it. And I'm sure Delhi is not going to sit back and not do something.
But on the streets of Kashmir, the young think they are forgotten about.
No, they have never forgotten. Let us make sure there are certain things I cannot divulge, but there is something I can assure the people through your channel at this time, that Government of India wants to open all channels, all methods of trying to find a better way for the people of that state. They also at the same time do realize that the dialogue with Pakistan has to continue and arrive at a rightful solution so that the relationship between the two countries does not get derailed.
You're saying to me that this is priority number one for the government of India?
It is priority number one, otherwise our Home Minister and Foreign Minister would not be in the other country.
Does the government, not so much in Delhi this time, but in Srinagar, have the capacity to reach out to the alienated young who are throwing stones today?
I am sure they have the capacity.
It's a huge challenge.
I am sure they have the capacity, and by the grace of God, they will be able to reach them. This tragedy has taught them, and I'm sure this tragedy will bring fruitful results and better results for the people.
Omar Abdullah is of an age where he can reach out to people in his 20s, but has he got the capacity to do it?
Yes, he has, and inshallah he will reach to the people.
Many people say that in this moment of crisis, there should be a swapping of roles between you and Omar Abdullah, that you should be Chief Minister, he should be in Delhi. Is that on the cards?
That is a wrong notion. The day I handed over this to him, I told him very clearly, it is him. The future rests in his hand, and he must deliver to the people that I have not been able to deliver.
That you have not been able to deliver. He's making up for what you couldn't do.
Yes.
Exactly. You see him capable of fulfilling the lapses you left uncovered.
Yes, I'm sure he will do that. I'm sure.
So speculation that you're waiting to go back as Chief Minister
is totally wrong, totally baseless, and some of the media people are using this to create uncertainty in the state and in the country. I want to make it very clear through your channel that there is no such thing. He is the leader, entire country is behind him, entire party of National Conference and Congress is behind him, and even the other national parties who may not be in the Government of India are also behind him to deliver goods for the betterment of the people and for the betterment of the country.
So in this moment of crisis, Omar Abdullah is and will remain Chief Minister?
Yes, he will, and inshallah, he will continue to lead the destinies of the people.
And if anyone puts pressure on you to say, Farooq Abdullah, go back, you'll say, no, sorry, I'm not.
Farooq Abdullah has done his duty. That is over. And I must tell you, Karan, you are the first man I have spoken after all these days. May God help me now when others jump on me.
Dr. Abdullah.
And for this, you are responsible.
Dr. Abdullah, thank you for that first interview.
Thank you.